Welcome back to Night Fever, episode 15. It is a match preview. Coming up this weekend, Auckland FC are taking on Newcastle Jets at Mount Smart. It's a Sunday 3 p.m. kickoff. Newcastle Jets sit at the bottom of the table. Auckland FC are second. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show. This weekend, Auckland FC are welcoming Newcastle Jets to Mount Smart Stadium. Newcastle Jets, who sit at the bottom of the table, are looking for their first win in 4 matches. Auckland FC will be looking to put last weekend to bed by putting in a much better performance and coming out with all 3 points. Auckland FC go into the match as favourites due to the stuttering start of Newcastle Jets following their Han Australia Cup victory in the off-season. Auckland FC have lost ground on the top of the table. They are behind Sydney FC by a point. So a win here is paramount for Auckland and the fans going forward. In the head-to-heads between the two clubs, they've played each other twice last season. Auckland FC won 2-0 at home on the exact same day last year, 30th of November, in the driving rain, followed by a trip to Newcastle at the McDonald Jones Stadium, where the teams drew 1-1, and that was in March. So in the brief history between the two clubs, Auckland FC lead the way. Taking a look at the recent form of the club, second place Auckland are taking on bottom of the table Newcastle Jets. Newcastle Jets, they started their season with a 3-2 away loss at Central Coast Mariners, followed by their only victory so far this season, an emphatic 5-2 win over Melbourne Victory. They then followed that up with a loss at home to Sydney FC 4-1 before losing 3-0 away to Brisbane Roar at Suncorp Stadium. Last weekend, they lost 2-1 at home to Perth Glory. The defending premiers, they are still unbeaten this season. They've played 5, won 3 and drawn 2. They drew their first game of the season 0-0 away to Melbourne Victory, followed by 3 wins in a row, all winning by a single goal before drawing last weekend against Brisbane Roar at Mount Smart. So of the two teams, Auckland FC are way in front in the recent form and come into this as strong favourites. Despite being bottom of the league at the moment, Newcastle Jets do have some strengths that we need to keep an eye on. They have attacking firepower and unpredictability, as seen in that 5-2 win over Melbourne Victory. They have a forward-heavy, dynamic squad with several players capable of chipping in goals, which makes them dangerous on the counter or in open play. They have midfield mobility and creativity with the likes of Max Burgess and Costa Grossis. The Jets have players who can link play, control transitions and supply attackers. They do have some resilience and can be difficult to break down, especially when they set up defensively compact and hit on the break. It's a common A-League trait. Their squad is built with players that are used to Australia's physical, fast-paced league. They've got a cup-winning mentality. They won the Han Australia Cup 2025, which was their first piece of silverware in quite a while. So despite the poor start to the season, there is an underlying confidence within them. Taking a look now at the notable players of Newcastle Jets. Costa Grossis, the number 17, he is the captain midfield general, the skipper and one of the central figures in their midfield, showing leadership, ball distribution and tempo control come from him. Max Burgess, a creative engine in midfield, expected to provide service to attackers and help the Jets transition quickly from defence to attack. Ben Gibson, another forward option. He can mix up Newcastle's attacking threats and cause problems if Auckland's defence gets stretched. And they also have defensive players like Daniel Wilmering and Bertoliso, who, while not glamorous names, are vital in setting up the Jets defensively when required. If the Jets can find their rhythm, these guys can make things very messy for our backline, especially if we try to dominate possession and leave space in behind. Some notable absentees and unavailable players. Auckland still without captain Hiroki Sakai. He is still out injured with a hamstring injury. Logan Rogerson is serving the second of a 2-match suspension. And no news yet on the injury update for Mali Francois. I expect him to still be out for this match. Newcastle Jets are impacted with a number of injuries also. Adams with an ankle injury. He's been out for the last 4 matches. Fryer injured his knee. He's been out for the previous 2 matches. And Japanese Muzunima has a hamstring injury, still yet to feature for the Jets this season. So for Auckland, we should see Callan Elliott retain his place at right back in place of the injured Sakai. And Dan Hall is now available for this match as well, following his single match suspension. Taking a look now at some likely lineups for the game this weekend. We'll start off with Newcastle Jets, looking to go with a similar formation to last weekend, 4-1-4-1. Goalkeeper James Delianov, their current number 1 in between the sticks. Defenders Bertolicio at right back and Daniel Wilmering at left back. Cooper and Sunja in the centre of defence. Wide midfielders Will Dobson and Bertoncello will be providing the width and support both defence and attack. Central midfielder Costa Grosas, the captain, anchoring the midfield, controlling the tempo and linking defence to attack. Max Burgess and Battalato in attacking midfield, sitting behind striker Rose. For Auckland, my money is on another 4-4-2 formation. Michael Val remaining in goal with Callan Elliott at right back. And I feel the gaffer might go with Peinecker and Hall partnering up in centre defence. That puts an end to the run of Goodwood Reich starting at centre back. De Vries at left back. On the right of midfield, last weekend's goal-scoring hero Lockie Brook. In the middle, Louis Verstraete partnering up with Gallegos. We could see Goodwood Reich slotting in as a defensive midfielder in place of Gallegos, but I'll go with Gallegos on this one due to the already established partnership with Verstraete. Randall to be on the left of midfield, and up front the same again, Cozzi and Guillermo Mai, hopefully causing more trouble for the Jets. It's definitely a game where our firepower can come into its own this time round. We've struggled with goals overall, but with an out-of-form Newcastle Jets visiting us at home, this is our chance to put some goals on the board. And with the midfield trying to dominate and feed service to those attackers. Taking a look at some tactical matchups now. Midfield control will be key. If Auckland can control the midfield, especially through Verstraete and Gallegos, they can slow down Grossos and Burgess and cut supply to the Jets forwards. That would limit the Jets transitions. Newcastle's wingbacks, Wilmering and Bertolicio, they could try to press hard and stretch the pitch, so Auckland's fullbacks will need to be disciplined. On the flip side, Auckland's wingers, Brook and Randall, they can test Newcastle's fullbacks by stretching them and combining with their fullbacks for overlaps. If Auckland press high, they might force errors out of Newcastle's defence, but that comes with risk. Jets like to play on the counter. With pace from their forwards, they could exploit space in behind. With strong defenders everywhere, dead ball situations could be crucial. Hall and Peinecker at the back, plus De Vries could be targets. Likewise, the Jets might use their physicality via Sunja and Cooper. Michael Val will need to be on top of his game. He's going to get tested, I feel, a lot by the Jets, especially with their movements from heavy forward rows. Tactically, I see the game a bit of a chess match. Auckland should try to dominate possession and build through midfield and wide play. Meanwhile, Newcastle will look to stay compact, hit on the break and make set pieces count. So down to a scoreline prediction for this weekend. I feel Auckland are going to finally really get out of the traps and put on some goals against the opposition. Our only wins so far have been by a single goal, but I feel with Newcastle Jets' poor start to the season and Auckland wanting to put right last weekend, which was noted as Corica as their worst performance so far under his reign. Auckland will come out firing. The fans are going to be demanding more from the players to apply themselves, and we could see some free scoring play. I wouldn't be surprised if we see somebody score a hat-trick this weekend. And we definitely need to improve our goal difference in the table if we want to stay head-to-head with Sydney FC. So my score prediction this weekend is Auckland FC 4, Newcastle Jets 1. All right, everyone, that's a full breakdown for the Matchday 6 clash, Auckland FC versus Newcastle Jets, this Sunday at 3 p.m. The Jets bring danger, fast wingers, clever midfield and physical defenders. But with our strengthened squad and home advantage at Go Media, I'm confident this time round we're going to deliver big. Make sure you've got your scarves, flags and singing voices ready for this weekend. Let's build the stadium as a fortress once again, like we did last season. If you enjoyed this preview, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast with your mates and let me know who you think will start for Auckland FC this weekend. And can we keep a clean sheet? Send through your predictions. And who do you think our danger man this weekend is going to be? Thanks for tuning in to Night Fever. I'll be back after the match with a match reaction. Don't miss it. And until then, up the port, up the Black Knights. Goodbye for now.